I would say that the whole premise of this discussion is predicated on the fact that Twitter is the forum, is one of the main forums for open public discourse and debate today. It is one of the reasons I love this program is that people with diverse views can come together and exchange those views. We have lost those sacred spaces. Say what you will about Twitter. It is one of those few spaces on the internet today where people are still able to engage in dialogue outside of their echo chambers. Come back to your question, though.
Pelosi is very dangerous. If you look at the Capitol, Washington Post put out a story yesterday about how the Capitol Police watched this break-in, or would have if anybody was monitoring the cameras. The stuff that was said about him it definitely leads to additional violence. And you can say this. I'm not saying this just about the Democrats. This is definitely a situation where Republicans have been put in this position. We're going to have Scalise on, who was shot. He's going to come to us about these things.
So this is, but Becky, the thing I will tell you is this is not unique to this moment. We have been having this debate in this country since 1776, since 1789. This is the fundamental American debate. It is the bargain of free speech in our country. All right, free speech is not intended for the speech we love. It is intended for the speech that we do not love. Without it, it's not a free speech country.
You can have your opinions, but saying that things are facts are dangerous.
So here's my view on this. If you're going to take down false speech, the company bears the burden of proof to demonstrate that it was actually false. Because free speech is not a liberal arts luxury. So the pursuit of truth depends on it. The pursuit of truth depends on it.
In all situations, you can have an opinion, but there are certainly facts in certain cases. To be able to say whatever garbage you want until you are proven otherwise is not what you...
So, Becky, you take a look at the debates around closing schools. There were people who were censored on YouTube, on other social media channels for making the arguments against school closures. Now we look back and say that those were probably policies that we regret. I believe we would have gotten to the right answers sooner if we had not censored those views.
What Alex Jones says in these situations?
I think we have to draw a distinction here.
I think we do too. Every time I lay out a valid argument, you change it and say it's a different line.
No, this is the distinction we need to draw. It's really important, is to condemn heinous speech. I think we need more condemnations of, for example, anti-Semitism. It is on the rise, particularly today in America. I think this is a problem.
Vivek had a great point when he said if a company is taking down speech that they determine to be false, like they just go to do it on their own merits. The company has the burden to find out or to prove that that information is false. Just taking it down is censoring and shutting down free speech. If that continues, then the company can decide what speech stays and what speech goes. And if a company has a certain viewpoint or a certain agenda on the post they want to keep going or allowing to go through, then speech will continue to be shut down on any viewpoints that are opposite from what the company feels, thinks are their agenda. And that's just not free speech, right? When she says, but to be able to just say any kind of garbage on posts, social media, until proven otherwise, and then Vivek cuts her off. And I loved his point that he gave her. He goes, let me give you an example. Remember when we were closing schools during the pandemic? Any type of post or speech that was saying against it, and saying how wrong that was, and had shared their viewpoint on why it was going to be harmful, and et cetera, all those posts got shut down through social media, across the board, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, et cetera. They all got shut down. But we later learned that we regret those policies, and they actually harmed our children, right? So free speech should be free speech no matter what your viewpoint is. And to shut it down is just going to keep our conversation going one-sided, and we'll never learn the difference of what another one's idea might be to even make things better.